Powered in the 26. He feels as though his car is on rails. He won the most recent super late model feature here in dominating fashion. We'll be watching him. Also, Gio Ruggiero, 16 years old, in the number 22 car for Donnie Wilson Motorsports, had a strong 5th place run here in his first trip to Berlin back in June. We'll see what he's got for the field tonight, guys.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll let you get in your positions. You got a lot to cover here, a lot of action, 250 laps, so we'll have it all live for you here on FloRacing. Berlin safety crew is out doing one final sweep of the track to make sure everything is cleaned up. The Bettenbaker pace truck going to get a couple extra warm-up laps here. 34 cars got to go 250 laps. Evan Shotko runs fast time by just a hair, and he's going to lead this one to Grain William Byron, Bubba Pollard, Tyler Rohrig, and Andrew Scheid, your top 5. Then it's Gio Ruggiero, Josh Berry, Chase Berta, Kyle Crump, and Cole Butcher, your top 10. You got to pace yourself. It's a 250-lap race. It's not a 25-lap race. It's not a 50. It's not 100. It's not 150. It's not even 200. It's 250. The crowd's going to get on their feet, and they're going to wave them off, I believe, this time by, as we got a great shot from up top as they come by the front stretch.
The anticipation for this race has been going on for months, since we knew guys like Chase Elliott, when William Byron, and when Eric Jones all decided that they wanted to be here after what was already a busy week for them. A race week, they were in their cup cars this weekend, but they still wanted to come out here and put on a show for big money. $30,000 is on the line for the winner. So many heavy hitters, not just from out of town, but also from right here at Berlin Raceway. Tanner, this is going to be a dandy.
Yeah, we see it right here. 1 to go at the line. Field's going to bunch up. Lights are out on the pace truck. Oh, man. I don't even know what to say right now. We're jumping around in the booth. This is so sweet. I'm just watching the cars go through 1 and 2 right now. We'll see the pace truck peel off this time, but man, thank you guys so much for having me up here. This is incredible. I'm so glad I got to experience
the
this.
Fans poured in, Tanner. We're ready to go all the way as far away as Romania. We have people on the stands tonight. We're going to turn them loose. We'll give you 1 lap of nothing but super late models at Berlin. The Battle at Berlin 250 presented by Tech Tools. Wow, 34 cars. It doesn't get much bigger than this at Berlin Raceway. They went 3 wide towards the back of the pack. They're still 3 wide back there a little bit, trying to get things settled down just a little bit. So far, so good. Evan Shotko will lead lap number 1.
In a way, it's very similar to what we saw this weekend in Brooklyn at MIS. The leaders out front, single file, but in the back of the pack, it's bunched up, it's chaotic, it's tight. Certainly an exciting start here, just 2 laps gone.
So Evan Shotko so far leads all of them. William Byron runs second, Bubba Pollard third. That's your top 3 or 4 breakaway. Then you get back to the 5th position. Tyler Rohrig's got everybody else behind.
Real good battle right now. Chase Bird on the outside in that 18 car. He's looking to the edge. Rohrig, really fast in qualifying, really fast in practice. But how long will this car last? He's got Andrew Scheid and Josh Berry, who are also really quick. Or it's Cole Butcher in the 28 right behind him.
4 laps in the books. There will be several scheduled caution flags throughout this one. We'll keep you posted when they pop up if we don't get a caution previous to that. Shotko still got 2 car lengths lead. There's so many battles on the racetrack as you see them thunder into turn number 4. Now we're going to get a battle for the 5th position. Chase Berta, Cole Butcher battling for the 5th position.
Yeah, right now a couple of heavy hitters, Chase Elliott and Jones a little bit further back in the pack, but once again, we got a lot of time in this race. No reason to push the car too early. As you see the battle continue, starting to get a little bit more single file around the track. What's crazy, guys, is when these cars do get single file, they just about wrap the near half-mile track here at Berlin Raceway.
Sort of reminds us of a sprint car race when the sprint cars spread out, fan out so quick, it kind of looks like that a little bit. So far, everybody's settled in at least a little bit. The start was a little bit wild. Cars really moved around, but so far, looks like it's now the top 10 all single file till you get a little bit farther back till you get to the 71 machine. That's Berry,
And, you know, one thing that we haven't talked about yet that's going to be a big factor tonight, especially on these long green flag runs, is lap cars. We're already only 9 laps into this race, and we see Shotco's already basically a quarter of a lap behind some of the guys in the back. So I'm sure these spotters up in the spotter stand are telling their drivers that are saving some tire, hey, you got to get going, leaders are coming. And you see that right now towards the back of the pack.
Speaking of cars in the back, Carson Hocevar and Scott Thomas went right to the back, and I mean immediately to the back. Both of those cars started right next to each other. Tan, I don't know what you make of that. Those guys started like 15th, 16th. They immediately went completely to the rear.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine they're probably just saving tires because they both dropped like a rock right at the green flag. So maybe they just were really aggressive on their tire saving, knowing that they're limited on tires tonight. But nonetheless, you can kind of see over the last lap or two, those guys have really picked the pace up. Now the shot goes on the same straightaway, almost the same straightaway as they are.
Well, I was going to say the trick is you can't get lapped. You can
Right.
save it, but if you get lapped, it's no good. Shotco's got about a car length, maybe I should say a back stretch until he catches the tail of the field. Now everybody, guys, is single file from 1st to 34th. 1st to 34th, everybody is single file.
Starting to wrap around. Shotco still leading here over William Byron. Gio Ruggiero in that 22 car. Still see him trying to keep close a little bit. Bubba Pollard and Cole Butcher right now in a pretty good battle here for 4th place. Pollard, it's a very similar start for him compared to that race we saw a couple weeks ago. Granted, that was 75 laps. Started in the middle and just slowly worked his way up. But as we know, he's very patient when it comes to these races and knowing it's not where you are on lap 15, it's where you are when you get down to lap 250.
See some more side-by-side battles there. We see Barry now making a move on the inside of Tyler Rorick. That's going to be the check that it's Blake Rowe, excuse me, on the inside. Here comes the 53 car. Let's quickly go down to pit road.
Yeah, guys, work from the Carson Hocevar camp and the 14 cars. He's pretty tight right now. Unhappy with the car. They're just waiting for a competition caution to bring it down pit road and loosen it up.
All right, Zach, thank you for the report. Yeah, we mentioned Carson Hocevar and Scott Thomas. Both started next to each other. Both immediately went to the back. So hopefully they can hang on and get that first yellow before Evan Shotko has them for lunch. They still have a good distance back there. That was a couple more cars going side by side. There you see the tail of the field right there. Hocevar is dead last. Hocevar is 34th. Pushing condition on the 14.
Yeah, you can see him go really high up, and maybe that came, and maybe that's why he only ran one qualifying lap earlier in the evening. As you see kind of right in front of him, Brian Tillum past Scott Thomas. You get a good look here at Evan Shotko, still leading by a couple car lengths, just about a half second on William Byron, but you can't really let up if you're Evan Shotko, and we know how good Shotko's 22 car is when he gets that clean air, Tanner, which it might make things interesting when we get to that lap traffic we were talking about.
Yeah, you can pretty much see right now on your screen the top 5 are all single file, about a car length or so apart. Everybody's going to be fighting for that clean air, and it's just going to make it that much easier to save those tires when you don't have a car next to you. So you see this great battle on your screen right now. We've got 5 cars you can pretty much throw underneath the blanket. Looks like Jurkovic's going to work to the inside of Tyler Rorick down the backstretch, and that's going to bring Josh Berry right along with him trying to fill the hole. They're side by side into 3 right now.
Chase Elliott also part of that group. Eric Jones also the tail of that group. That's the only side-by-side battle we see right now on the racetrack. Everybody else, as you mentioned, kind of running pace laps. Single file. Looks like they've settled in a little bit up front, at least the top 10. Beyond that, they're still kind of scrapping to find their positions. 21 laps in, 250 the distance. It is a long, long, long way yet to go in the battle for the 250.
Still, this battle for 9th through pretty much 14th is kind of heating up as Derek Griffith kind of falls out of the picture there to your right. Josh Berry and side by side with Tyler Rorick getting the edge. That 71 car. Carson Hocevar's driven that car. We mentioned Johnny Van Doren's driven that car before. It's always bad fast, and maybe Berry here early just trying to get the hang of driving with other cars around him, because we saw this week he's been very fast when the track is empty. So maybe him just trying to work up to the field is kind of part of his strategy.
So you see now Chase Elliott working the inside of the 24. That's Tyler Rorick. So Elliott continues to saw his way through the field. That will be the battle for the 11th position if he can pull it off. See Blake Rowe in the 131. Rowe's run some big races out here as well. Fantastic modified driver as well, the likes of Blake Rowe. There you see Shotko, Byron Ruggiero. That's basically, guys, what we've seen. Pollard and Butcher, these guys have been the top 5 in this position basically since the race started once they fanned out. They seem like they know what they're doing up front. Pace themselves up front. Shotco not running a blistering pace by any stretch, guys. Still quite a distance from Hocevar, so I don't think anybody's pushing it this early. Looks like some pretty calculated moves.
And I agree with that 100% because Evan Shotco ran a 15.998 in qualifying. Right now, the leaders are averaging 17.5-second laps. So obviously letting up a little bit. And it's like I said, this is a battle of attrition. Even the guys that are in the middle of the field, top drivers that we have, they'll know some of these cars will fall off eventually. So no reason to push, and that's why William Byron's not really challenging for the lead. There's no need to right now.
Yeah, and I think the majority of guys that are out there right now, especially in the top 10, they're not going to show their full hand of what they got until we get to, like lap 100, 125. Once we start getting towards the halfway point, then you're really going to see, who came to play and who didn't. But nonetheless, these guys are really closing in on Hocevar right here. You can't see him on the screen quite yet, but it's only about 20 car lengths between Shotco and Hocevar right now. And Hocevar's car is definitely really, really tight. You can see it in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Hocevar will be the first car to go a lap down. He dropped like an anchor. As now we see a battle for the second position, guys. First change up front we've seen in a long time. Ruggiero on the inside, trying to get to the inside of William Byron. That's a battle for second. That's the first side-by-side battle we've seen in the top 8 anyway, since basically this race started. Doesn't look like anybody's really pushing the issue too bad.
And interesting right there that Byron chose to race him. I thought really this early in the race, there you go. It looks like he's going to let him go going into 3, but that's probably a wise decision right there. You don't want to get hung up on the outside too long here, especially this early in the race, but Byron elects to let Ruggiero go by right there.
About 5 more laps, guys. Evan Shotco is probably going to catch Carson Hocevar, who's clearly off the pace. The car is running, but report from pit road from Zach with the horrible push, and he's off in no man's land by his own. There's plenty more cars in front of him. He's not able to catch them, so he's just going to hang on, hopefully get the lucky dog and maybe hang on and make some adjustments and have a shot at get back in this one.
And remember, he can't just go down to pit road right now to get that fix. It's got to be approved by SRL National, and this is something similar that happened to him in the Money in the Bank. He had a tire that was going down. He wanted to fix it. SRL said no, so he had to book it in early back in June. Right now, he's just trying to hang on by a thread and just wait for that caution, which is going to be in about 15 laps this
there
time
it is.
by.
Big crash in one.
Jesse Love.
Jesse Love.
Wow. Jesse Love pounds the turn 1 wall. The tire bounces off of Ken Wabma's car. It flew off the right front. And a heavy hit down there. You see the tire run out in 1.
Guys, window net is down. There's movement inside the car. Good sign. It looked like the tire popped off that right front and might have caught the 27 car of Ken Wabma. Something to keep an eye on.
Thank you very much, Zach. Yeah, Jesse Love, he was running a little bit further back in the field. And, yeah, hit that wall hard. Concrete walls we have here. He was battling.
He was 21st.
Yep, with Wes Griffith and Michael Simcoe. Simcoe, I think, may have been the one that got hit by the tire that popped off. But good to hear that Jesse Love is window net down and signaling that for the most part he's okay. Yeah, folks, if you're just watching us here at Berlin Raceway for the first time, no safety barriers that we have like you do in NASCAR, all concrete walls all the way around up until you get to the backstretch, of course. But man, that was a real hard hit, too, for Love.
Safety crews checking on him. The window net is down.
We got a red flag, too.
As they're going to have to remove the car there from the racetrack. So first caution flag after pretty good side-by-side action. Jesse Love does find the turn 1 wall in the car. It looks like a wheel came loose, and he kind of went head on into turn number 1. Safety crew is there to check on him. He is moving around in the car, and tow truck is working its way through. So red flag is out. That'll give us a chance to take a very short break. Jesse Love into the turn 1 wall. We're under a red flag. The Battle of Berlin on lap number 34. You're watching Berlin Raceway live on Flow.
#1 fan of Advanced Auto Parts, and I am here for the free battery test.
Test!
Wow, I guess you are a big fan.
I got season tickets.
This is how we advance.
And welcome back to Berlin Raceway, brought to you by Benton Baker. Jesse Love hard in the turn one wall. He is okay. He's actually walking back down to the pits right now, and we'll try to get a word with him what exactly happened. Tanner, we were just talking a little bit. Definitely something. We saw like you see the left rear is off. Tire flew, and he went into the wall. Not sure what caused which, but either way, tough break for him.
Yeah, that was an odd one because it happened in the middle of the straightaway. I tried to see what happened there. It looked like he may have broke a hub when the wheel was rolling down the racetrack. I didn't see the hole in the center, so.
So that's some good news. And let's go down to pit road. We got a word with Jesse Love. We'll see what happened. Let's catch up with see what happened with Jesse on pit road.
Menlo Park, California's Jesse Love, battling for 21st at the time, hard in the turn one wall. What happened from your perspective?
I think we just broke a left rear hub or snout or something. I don't know, just left rear fell off the car. So I assume it was a hub or a snout or whatever. But just grateful for all my safety gear, Bill Helmets, OMP Racing, everybody that helps myself on the safety front. And just another day, so we'll load it up and try again next time.
All right, fans, give it up for Jesse Love, okay, and out of the car after that hard hit into the turn one wall.
All right, good to see he is okay. And cleanup continues, so that'll give us a chance to take one more quick break here as Love's car is getting loaded on the flatbed. And we'll be right back, and we'll get underway. Lap 34 of 250. You're watching the Battle of Berlin 250, presented by Tecton Tools, live on Flow.
Take it.
And welcome back to Berlin Raceway, brought to you by Sipshine, Matt McKenzie, Tyler Kuhl, and Tanner Tellerica bringing the action. We're going to try to get a word with our leader through the radio here, Evan Shotko. Let's go down there and see if we can get Evan right now. Hey there, Evan Shotko, Matt McKenzie, FloRacing. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, so far, 34 laps in. They're still doing cleanup in turn number one. How's it feeling out there for you? How's the pace feeling so far in this one for you?
Car feels great. Just trying to set a pace and save some tires here. But I couldn't ask for anything better as far as the car goes.
Anything in track conditions or anything out of the ordinary surprising you when you guys came in here today? Now that you got this one under 34 laps, anything outside of the calculation you weren't expecting?
Fire it up here, bud. We got to roll.
Nothing too crazy, just same old Berlin.
Right down the center of the screen. So your top five: Evan Shotko, Gio Ruggiero, William Byron, Bubba Pollard, and Cole Butcher. Now your top five with 34 of 250 laps complete.
And it's so crazy to think that we saw the battle between Jurkovic and Scheid, Barry, and Berta was in that, and that was only for 9th or 10th place. But you know though that battle could mean something later on in the race, because track position's important, but also being able to make passes early on in this race, Tanner, and show that your car does have speed while also trying to conserve. It's kind of a, I don't know, a give and take, if you will.
Yeah, it's definitely a very delicate balance between the two. You know, if you push your car hard, you're going to be able to drive up further to the front. You will get better track position, but then again, the flip side of that token is you're going to burn up tire trying to get there. So you really got to kind of balance how hard do I want to push versus, how much do I want to save? Do I want to get further up front? Would I rather save tires, make a push later on this tire run? It just really depends on what your race strategy is and where you're running on track for that given point of time.
Well, and just looking at this, guys, I'm looking towards the back of the pack. We got 5 Berlin regulars: Austin Hall, Ken Wama, Scott Thomas, Brian Tillema, Keith Herp, all in the back. Is that coincidence, or do they know something we don't know? I don't know. Interesting strategy. You talk about conserving the tires. Is that a strategy, or is that just where they are? We'll find out if it pays off. Evan Shotko's led them all so far, 34 down, 250 the distance, and Shotko gets a great jump over William Byron down into turn number 1 as we're back on the green.
Guys, the 14 car, Carson Osevar, still on pit lane. The crew is going to work right now, still on the right side of the car. Some problems on the 14 machine.
So Hocevar's day starts off bad and now goes to worse. So Hocevar does not look like he's going to return to the competition, at least here. Oh, he does come flying down the pits. He will be a lap down, I believe, but he will be enjoying the tail of the competition as Hocevar is going to have to wait there for the field to go by.
I don't think I've ever seen a car drive down pit road any faster at Berlin Raceway, but yeah.
Boy, he spins the tires out of the pits trying to catch the field. He's going to be a lap and a half behind, but 250 is a long way to go. Still Shotko.
We'll have to see what he did to that car, because if anything, when the next competition comes out at around lap 84, barring we stay green that entire time, he will have the option to stay out and get back on the lead lap.
Back up front, it's Evan Shotko, Gio Ruggiero, Bubba Pollard, Chase Berta, and William Byron now has settled back to 5th. There you see Battle Mid-Pack there. We see Boris Jurkovic.
This right here around 7th.
Bubba Pollard. 11th. Blake Rowe. Pollard leads that group in the white 26 car.
Byron shuffled back a little bit there on that restart. Gio Ruggiero got the betterment of him, and once again, you could go into the whole tire strategy deal, but right now, if you're guys like Berta, Pollard, and if you see Cole Butcher there in that 28 car, if you can get around a guy like Byron and kind of keep him back in the field and not allow him to get a whole lot of space here in the front, that might be a little bit more confidence boost for those drivers, Tanner.
Yeah, this is definitely that moment in the race where you kind of, if you're going to pass somebody 9 times out of 10, it's going to be when you're catching them, either making a mistake or, you know, they just really, really back their pace down and you're able to sneak by them. But there's not going to be a whole lot of hard racing that's going on up front. You see how quickly the top, call it 15 or so, get single filed out here, as we do have one battle going on right now. Jones working underneath Scheid going down the back straightaway. Wouldn't be surprised if Scheid probably lets him go here this early on. But nonetheless, these guys are really taking care of their stuff right now. We're only working lap 42, so still a long, long, long ways to go in this one.
2 months ago, these two guys were battling for the lead of the Money in the Bank, Scheid and Jones, and now you see Chase Elliott enter into that picture. Right now, the battle for 9th place between those 3 drivers.
Still all Shotko. It's been Shotko from the beginning. He leads. Ruggiero second, Pollard third. There you see him on the left. Then you see 14th, the 4th place, Chase Berta in the 18. He's getting a challenge now on the outside from Butcher and William Byron. Butcher continues to work his way up on the high side.
That's a perfect example of the different paces that are being ran right now. I guarantee you Berta's probably not comfortable going that fast right away, so he's just letting those guys go around the top. He's not going to fight them. I wouldn't be surprised if Butcher here in just a couple laps starts working over Pollard the same way, or maybe he's going to settle in now that he's picked up a couple spots. He's happy with where he's at, and he might just settle in and go into tire save mode right now.
Butcher, one of the many Wilson Motorsports drivers here in the field in that 28 car out of Porters Lake, Nova Scotia, a merit timer here at Berlin Raceway.
There you see it. Looks like he's just working to the outside of Pollard. Side by side off of 2. He'll probably clear him down the backstretch. Yeah, I'm sure Bubba probably let him go right there, but he's going to clear him by about 2 car lengths going into 3. Butcher's on the move.
Butcher's been in the high groove for all of these passes, too. The last 3 or 4 cars passed, all in the second groove. Maybe he's finding something up there that's working for his car the way it's set up. Maybe he's using up. Maybe he's not. As Kyle Crump works around Brian Campbell, he begins to work his way up to the top 10 now. 47 laps down, still 203 laps to go with the battle at Berlin 250.
And remember, going back to Cole Butcher, as you see a good battle here further back in the field with Josh Berry trying to catch up to Brian Campbell. Butcher has ran here before. He was in the Money in the Bank last season. As you see the field once again spread out, single file. Hocevar trying to move his way up the field a little bit here, so whatever adjustments were made with that track bar especially possibly, he's a lot faster here. Still a lap down, but certainly looking a lot better in that 14 car.
Yeah, so Hocevar, looks like whatever adjustments they made at least made the car more stable and drivable, but lap down, he's got a lot of cars to work through. We're about to hit lap 50. I guess that puts us at the 1/5 point if we're going to do fractions. The first sort of
You start doing fractions, man. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a long night for everyone watching on Flow Race.
Well, 1/5, right? So that's one down. Next one will be 2/5, right? I think I can handle that math. But we are at lap 50. Evan Shotko, Cole Butcher, Gio Ruggiero, Bubba Pollard, William Byron, Chase Berta, Boris Yurkovic, Blake Groh, Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, Andrew Scheid, Kyle Crump, Josh Berry, and Trevor Sanborn.
Tyler Rohr just fell back to 16th. Dylan Stovall, Joe Bush, Jacob Gomes, Derek Griffith, Wes Griffith, Michael Simcoe, Austin Hall, Scott Thomas, Keith Earp, Ken Wama, Brian Tillema, Kevin Cremonesi, Derek Nealon, Andrew Gressel, Tony Elrod, and Carson Hocevar. Jesse Love and Chris Munson are the only 2 casualties so far in a race that's only seen 1 caution, and that was because Jesse Love hit the wall hard.
Guys, Cole Butcher is really working over the back of Evan Shotko right now for the lead. I think Cole's probably ready to go. I don't think he's really planning on saving a whole lot of tire, but he's slowly been looking for weak spots that Evan has right now where he's saving tire and Cole's not. And almost pulled the trigger right there on him coming off the 4, but I think he got a little bit free underneath